we've stated this several times in our previous races. The big key elements come through. I think the first 20 minutes are very, very key in these runs.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. A Palace 1 again is your first checkpoint. Are you going to have attack 3 coming out, or are you going to have attack 4? Are you going to get that bubble skip on your way to Palace 1? Are you going to die during that bubble encounter? I mean, a lot of factors that can happen in the first 20 minutes. Definitely. Death
Right.
Mountain, of course.
Absolutely. In fact, you could probably give as far as experience points routing is concerned, the first probably 35 minutes of the run. Very critical.
Because it's the first 2 palaces where experience really comes into play. If you're coming out of Palace 2 with attack 6, you pretty much don't have to worry about it for the rest of the run. But if you're less than attack 6, you're going to have some problems later on.
Does anyone have a NES Mini under the tree? I don't.
Neither do I. I didn't even ask for one. So there we go.
I wish I knew where we had them. Just go to challenge.com/2016 Zelda 2. Hopefully somebody can link you to that, Karakin.
Yeah, simpoldood is now back up if you want to try again.
Oh, yeah, I got to back up.
Perfect.
And thank you very much, Ness Martin, who is our restreamer for this race. And special thanks to him for giving up his Monday evening. Or I think, what is it? In his case, Tuesday morning now?
Yeah, it very well might be. How many hours is he from the east side? We're at 8:07 in the East Coast now.
It's +6.
Oh, okay. All right, so, we just got word from the big boss here. Yep, it's extremely late. That's all we need to know.
Here we go. We've got the dot readies from both of these runners, and we're going to be getting ready to go as soon as the stream delay comes up, and we'll get a timestamp from Ness Martin in just a moment and get ourselves the second round match between Cantaloupeme and simpoldood. And they're off.
Yep, away we go.
So Cantaloupe is going to be I believe, the first one on my end as soon as I get these times synced up.
I've got about an 8-second difference at this time, but that just might be me.
So once they exit the cave, we will get a timestamp from Ness Martin, see where we are as far as the timestamps on the restream is concerned. And the first critical mark is to see whether or not they are able to get the point bag off this last monster here in this cave. And it does not look like either of them was able to score a point bag. So timestamp on Ness Martin, please. Okay, thank you. So timestamps, both of them are heading to town. What are they getting in this town?
Well, they're going to get the first spell of the game. That is going to be the shield spell. And what the shield spell does is, in addition to getting a nice, snazzy new tunic, the red color, it also decreases the damage you take from enemies and projectiles by 1/2. But remember, when you use that spell, it is only good for one screen. So if you need it for multiple screens, you got to remember to cast it again on the next screen.
That is correct. And by microseconds, simpoldood is going to be the first one to grab this, as you know, you can't really shake where people are right now. 1 minute and 25 in a run that's going to be, 77 minutes long?
Oh, no, absolutely not. And it looks like that there's no dark trophy cave for simpoldood either. So both are taking the exact same route.
Yep. And you kind of alluded to that earlier, that simpoldood does not take that. He will not go through the he will not go through the trophy cave. He'll just head on over to Palace 1. And you mentioned before that he needs the luck of 2 P bags.
That's right. He's going to need both P bags out of Palace 1 if he wants to get attack level 4. So that is going to be a tall task. It's only a 25% chance.
And we already seen the difference in experience as Cantaloupe was unable to get the 3 points out of that dark cave. And here we go. The first skip is going to be an important time break here for both of these guys. Who's going to get the break and who's not? And it looks like Simple gets it and Cantaloupe gets it as well.
Yes, he does. So both players are level pegging here.
And now to the heart container. Simple.
Gotta be careful.
Care of the Gria.
Yep, just gonna say, gotta be careful that hopefully that boomerang doesn't snipe you when you pick up that heart container, which it didn't.
Well, the commentary will say FAP at some point in time of this run. Normally around, depends. I mean, we'll see. We can probably get a few fat references in their laws.
That's right. That was Cantaloupeme's original name. He was known as Can Out Fat Me for a time before, you know, the drill. I don't want to talk about it.
His IRC name is still the same, as they both cleared to Palace 1 cleanly.
Correct.
And we're still on the same screen.
Yep, Palace 1. They're both in Palace 1 right now. And so the first item here, by the way, this is the Parappa Palace here. The first item of the game that they're going to be finding here is the candle. And the candle, of course, is used to see what's inside those caves. We've already seen 2 caves that have been completely dark. That first magic cave, and then that cave that connects to Palace 1 where there's just a lonely louder in it.
Oh, that's correct. Now you can be able to see what's hitting you as you're walking through that palace. Don't have to worry about it when you're this level here. And simpoldood, you gotta remember, he went through Dark Death Mountain in his first round matchup against Press J Polk.
Yeah, that's an amazing accomplishment to do. I would never dare try to go through Death Mountain without a candle because, let's face it, Death Mountain's hard enough as it is. I mean, to do it without a candle, my goodness.
Yeah, but that's the amazingness that is simpoldood, and also Press J Polk, who also was doing that in a couple of his runs. So, you know, if you can do it, you can do it.
Okay, so now what these players are both going to be doing here is they're going to be setting up their drops. What do I mean by their drops is that every 6th enemy, both in the small drop group and the large drop group, is going to give you either that 50-50 chance, in the case with the large drop group, of getting the 200-point P-bag.
Interesting deviation. Simple ops to kill the Staphos, and Fap just jumps right over it.
Very interesting. And the reason why Cantaloupe jumped over the Staphos, he's setting up his drop. And what we mean by that is every 6th enemy is going to have either that 200-point P-bag or that red jar drop. The red jar refills all of your magic in your magic meter. But you want to try to set up your drops here because the first P-bag drop, you want it to be on the Staphos, because if you don't get the 200-point P-bag, you're only losing out on 30 points. But if you're setting it up on, say, this Doom Rattle or an Orange Iron Knuckle, you could stand to lose 50 points.
Well, we were able to see the difference right now. Simpoldood currently with attack 2. Now, Cantaloupe's going to be able to grab that soon. You're not going to really notice much of a difference between attack 1 and attack 2 off these lesser enemies.
No, not really.
So for Cantaloupe, he'll just jump over again. He'll wait until later.
Yep, again, he's just setting up so that he wants to get his P-bag drop opportunity against that red Staphos as opposed to an Iron Knuckle or some other 50-point enemy.
Yep, and as we mentioned before, that is the nature of the route right now, and both of these guys have the way they want to attack things so far, and like I said, it's just an interesting deviation. Interesting decision here of simpoldood using the shield magic in order to go past this crumbling bridge.
Well, even at life 1, those bots can deal quite a bit of damage. I think it's 1 full bar if you get hit, and chances are you're going to get hit by these bots because of the way they move.
Cantaloupe getting bopped twice.
Ouch.
And a red jar drop on simpoldood's end.
Ooh, so he is not going to have attack 3 coming out of Palace number 1 for sure.
You mean attack 4?
Yeah, attack 4. Sorry about that. Candle pick up for both of these players now.
Candle pick up for both of these players, and a difference also right now, 2-1-2 on Cantaloupe's end.
Yep, so in a few moments, we're going to see if Cantaloupe gets lucky with his P-bag drop on this red Staphos here.
This could be a big difference here. Can he get attack 4 out of this palace? We'll find out real soon. And some down to half of his life. Oh,
Cantaloupe does get his P-bag, yes.
For the Cantaloupe.
So yes, he is halfway home to needing attack 4 coming out of Palace 1. Simpoldood, as you already know, cannot get attack 4 coming out of this palace. So Cantaloupe, if he can get that P-bag drop out of the final orange Iron Knuckle of this palace, he will indeed have attack 4 and the early advantage.
Early advantage means difference in Death Mountain, and simpoldood is getting low on life.
You got to be careful here. You don't want to lose a life early on in this stage of the game. He's down to just 1 bar.
Oh, double red bar drop, red jar drop.
Ooh, so he got the 25% chance just the wrong way. Now let's
And
see if
he's
Cantaloupe
not
Me.
going to get. He's not going to get attack 3. Oh,
He's gonna get
out.
attack 4. Cantaloupe Me got the P bag.
Oh yeah. So with the bad luck there, it just means that right now, simpoldood is just barely going to have enough to get to attack 3 based on the statue. But it's just going to mean a difference once we get to Death Mountain.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3-1-1 versus 4-1-2 for Cantaloupe Me coming out of Palace 1.
Cantaloupe swing and a miss on the key.
Yeah, so the count is 0-1 now on the left-handed hitter.
Interesting decision. He will just opt to grab life 2 coming out. So right now, 2-1-2 for Simple coming out of the Palace 1.
Very interesting indeed, albeit he only needs 50 more points to get to attack level 3. He probably just wanted to level up his life. So, oh, I see what he did there. You know why he took life 2? So that the refill wouldn't cost him time. I get that move.
Well, you get the refill before you get your experience points.
That's true. Well, then I'm not sure what he was thinking there. Well, maybe he's challenging himself. I don't know. But here we go into this dark trophy cave. Again, most players would have went into this trophy cave already in the dark.
I think Simple wanted the point bag right there.
Oh, I see. But unfortunately for small enemy groups, that is a 1 in 8 chance of getting the 50-point P bag, but it's a 7 out of 8 chance of getting that blue jar where it refills 1 full bar of your magic meter.
So heading over to the jump cave with the trophy in hand. Well, first you got to go to town to redeem the trophy.
That's right, because what you're going to do here is you're going to drop off this trophy to the rightful owner here in this next town of the game. This is the town of Ruto, and by doing so, you will get the next spell of the game. That is the jump spell.
Also, Simple opting to get refreshed, spend a couple, maybe a second by going back into the house.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to get everything refilled before you make your way south of this town here. By the way, the jump spell, as you would imagine, it makes you jump higher.
Might as well jump.
And jump! But anyways, you're going to need it for the next cave due south of here at Ruto, because there is a very tall jump that you have to do, and without the jump spell, you can't do it unless you know how to pull off inhumanly task strats. And believe me, in a race, no way.
Yeah, it would take quite some time to pull over the aches to get over there so you can damage boost yourself.
All right, so both of these runners, again, are neck and neck coming out of this town. It looks like I got 10:46 for Cantaloupe Me and 10:44 for Simple. So it's a 2-second race right now, very close. But this is where the attack could give Cantaloupe Me a lead, perhaps going to Palace 2.
Octorok's down in 2 hits versus Octorok's down in 1 hit.
Yep, that's definitely a difference. As you can see, now there's attack 3 for Simple.
Wow, he's getting bodied pretty badly here by these Octoroks.
This is not where you want to get bodied. You don't want to be taking damage against these more easier enemies here, but Cantaloupe Me does get some damage against the red gorilla. He's now at 4-2-2 rather.
Yep, refreshing is, I believe, the magic so he can get himself this jump. Here we go. Might as well jump.
Jump! All right, so this is where we could see some separation here. The trip to Bagu's house here. We're hoping to have no encounters, and unfortunately, Cantaloupe Me takes it in the worst spot in the swamp.
And here comes Simple trying to get his way. He will at least clear the swamp. Can he make his way straight ahead? Can he go straight? And touchdown, Simple.
Yes, and Cantaloupe Me, well, he was able to only have that one encounter, so not much of a loss there for Cantaloupe. But yeah, as you mentioned, simpoldood had a perfect trip.
Screen for screen at this moment, 12 minutes in.
That is quite amazing here. So right now, it is a close race.
We'll see how Death Mountain treats these runners, though.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, Cantaloupe is down to just 2 bars of health. However, that's not going to make much difference as he approaches the next town of the game, which is the town of Saria.
In Saria, you're going to pick up the life spell.
Yeah, the life spell.
The other things. Like
that's right, the life
magic
spell.
Refreshed.
Now look at Simple. He has no magic left at all.
Yeah, he's gonna visit the lady to refresh his magic before he heads in there.
Yep, and both of these players went into this house. Under the table is a mirror, and you're going to return this mirror to this girl who's got that water jug on her head. And by doing so, yep, as you mentioned, you do get the life spell, refilling 3 full bars of your life meter when you use it.
There we go. So, you're going to restore your life with this magic. It's going to become a very valuable tool for the remainder of this run. It's probably the best non-required magic you're going to find in this game.
Yeah, no question about it, Rick.
But in this category, it is required.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's required because this is 100% all keys. And what we mean by 100% all keys, in addition to getting all of the keys in the palaces, you must collect every magic container, every life container, each of the 2 sword abilities, and all of the spells in the game. That is what constitutes as 100%. You don't have to get all of the 1-up dolls, however.
Well, why not? Aren't 1-up dolls pretty?
They are pretty indeed. I will grant you that, Rick. However, it's just not a requirement because some people can do this on just a few lives, and there are several 1-up dolls scattered around throughout the land of Hyrule. But one thing I do want to point out is once you pick up a 1-up doll, it is gone for good, even after you game over. It will never appear again.
Both getting botted there, getting bounced back.
And this is exactly what you don't want to have happen at the start of Death Mountain, because the enemies at the beginning are pretty easy to deal with, these bots and moblins and octoroks and such, but you don't want to be taking damage to these guys because there's an enemy coming up past a certain elevator that's really going to do a number to you if you don't know the basic strategy of taking them down.
And we're going to meet that enemy real soon. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to introduce him?
Yep, here he is, past the elevator. It is the Orange Daira. Deadly, packs a punch, and if you don't have attack 4, requires several more hits.
Now, the interesting thing is that enemy will actually show up in the dark if you do Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah, I think it's all orange enemies that show up in Dark Caves. Is that right?
I think so. I would have to say yes, but...
Well, here's the more dangerous one. The Red Dairas for 100 points. They throw axes at you, and they could throw several axes at you
Look
at a time.
at the bots knocking Simple.
Oh my goodness gracious, bots, please.
Those bots just did not want to give Simple anything easy this run.
Boy, this could be an ominous sign of things to come if that's how bots are going to continue to treat Simple, because there's going to be several spots coming up in Palace where bots really come into play.
Eggs aren't playing him nice either.
Holy smokes. Yeah,
And
that's wow.
Simple can't cast life, so he just was able to cast just enough of it now, but he's down to no magic, so these last 2 caves.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good news, though, for Simple is he is approaching a red jar that's coming up in the next cave that he's going to be in. So he gets the P bag, so that's going to help him out, but he's got to make sure that he gets through this next cave. Because, again, like I said, at the end of this cave, he will get a red jar.
Cantaloupe's the first one to the Hammer Cave at 1618.
Yes, indeed. So I'm probably a little ahead, so I'm going to give about 5 seconds on each.
And then Simple is back 1628. He's second to the Hammer Cave. Just a rough Death Mountain on Simple's end so far, and that's allowed Cantaloupe to get a nice lead.
Yeah, so, and this is the kind of race that Cantaloupe me needed to play early on, and so far so good for him. Now, here we are in this very treacherous room here. There's a bunch of lava pits and this lonely spiky Mew here, and you gotta play it carefully because they can knock you into the lava rather easily, just like bots.
And Cantaloupe Fap just made it look easy.
Yep, absolutely.
And Fap will be the first one to the hammer. And a P-bag drop for Fap.
Man, the rich just keep on getting richer. I tell you what, yep, there's that P-bag drop, another 200 points. He keeps this up, he'll have no problem getting attack 6 coming out of Palace 2.
You remember that race against Dan H where it just seemed like Fap between Palaces 1 and 2 just got every single P-bag he needed?
Yeah, absolutely. That's how he was able to build that huge lead on Dan, and he just never let go of it. You see that Simple just picked up the hammer now as well.
Yep, and unfortunate luck there on Simple Dude's end as he got a red jar.
Boy, he's going to have some problems getting attack 6 coming out of Palace number 2, because if you don't get attack 6 coming out of that Palace, you're going to have a tough time leveling up the rest of the way, because you're going to be behind an attack level for the next couple of Palaces.
And that is correct, and you'll be trying to make up later on in the run here as we make our way to the magic container and now trying to get ourselves out of the town or out of Death Mountain.
Yep, so Cantaloupeme is going to go into the caves to assure himself that he's not going to take an encounter. Some people would gamble there and not going to that middle cave, but there's a chance that if the RNG doesn't roll right, you're going to get sniped and you're going to lose several seconds.
It's an interesting position for Simple to be in here as he's behind right now as we get to Palace 2. The question is what will happen in his Palace 2? Will he get the will he get the P-Bag luck? Because he needs P-Bags badly.
Oh, absolutely. And furthermore, he's going to have to kill a lot of these enemies and get that 100-point P-Bag that's on the disintegrating bridge in all likelihood if he does not get that P-Bag luck.
Well, we'll get to that point soon.
That was a good...
I was going to say, I don't think either of these guys are going to go for the one-up doll.
No, neither of them have lost a life yet. Cantaloupe's not going for it. That was a good red Dyra kill, by the way. That could be a tricky kill there because you have the bubbles to contend with. He made that look pretty easy. But, oh, he takes an encounter on the desert tile. Could give Simple a chance to catch up a few seconds.
And here comes the boulder dash as Cantaloupe, well, he sits there, grabs the encounter now, and he's off. Try to see if he can't get to the Medicine Life cave without getting another encounter.
Well, the only thing that could stop him is a fairy I like to call Sprite, and I call her Sprite because this game was released in the United States 1 year before the Zelda cartoon was released, and that's why I call her Sprite.
And he does get there cleanly, and now onto the bridge.
Yeah, that was very well done, that boulder dash there for Cantaloupeme. We'll see if Simple can get the same thing.
It looks like he's got it.
Perfect.
Got it.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yep, no encounters. He made it perfectly, so no time lost there.
And no death abuse on Cantaloupe's end after picking up the Medicine of Life.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I've never seen him take that death abuse there. So he got the Medicine of Life, and what that does is he's going to take that, return that into the next town of the game, the town of Mito, where he will pick up his next spell. And we'll explain that when we get there.
Yep, that it will be an interesting town to come here, but first, let's grab a one-up.
Yeah, this is the first one-up that typically you're going to grab, unless you grab the one-up in the desert next to the graveyard, which some people might grab if they had died previously. Neither of these players took a death, so this was their first one-up doll.
And the one-up dolls will help them get some death abuses coming up later on, namely Palace number 4. We'll get to that later on. And fairies for Simple in the Forest.
Yeah, Sprite, please.
Maybe
so that's going to cost him a few seconds. Yeah. Good one there, Rick. But anyway, Cantaloupeme is now here in the town of Mito, and he's going to cast the jump spell in order to get to the top of this church where he'll pick up his first sword ability, and that is the downward stab. And it's a pretty OP weapon. Why is that, Rick?
Well, you see, a lot of the enemies are down on the ground, and you can now just go ahead and point the downward button on your stick, and you'll nicely kill them with your sword because of this technique that this knight has to teach you. It's one of the nicer techniques that you learn in the Zelda game.
Yep, jackhammering through your enemies, particularly useful against Blue Iron Knuckles and Barba, just to name a couple of enemies.
Name dropper?
Yeah. Now, the second piece of business that they're going to be doing in the town of Mito is, again, that Medicine of Life that they just got. They're going to return it and pick up the next spell of the game, the Fairy Spell. And what the Fairy Spell does, of course, is it turns you into a fairy. Now, Rick, remember the magic word that's going to give you power.
Please?
That's what we all think it's supposed to be, but in the world of Zelda 2, it's not please and it's not thank you either. It's fairy.
I thought it was spell.
Well, that's later on in the game, but we have two magic words. We have two magic words. Believe it or not, in Zelda 2. This is just the first one, but spell is going to be coming up much later in the run. But yeah, there are several places in the game where you have to cast the fairy spell because there are areas that is inaccessible without using the spell.
So now Cantaloupe getting his way over to the Heart Container Cave, and the question is, will the rich get richer?
Yeah, because there is going to be a blue Gorilla coming up that is part of the large drop group set where he could get another 200-point P-Bag, and he doesn't need the magic. He's full on magic. What will he get?
30 points.
No drop, so he's not on the 6th drop. Some people would be on that 6th drop right there because they want to set themselves up for maybe getting a red jar because he just cast Fairy to pick up that heart. Very important because it saves on the animation of picking up a treasure.
Ooh, I think Simple just got the 200 points, I think.
He did not. He got a red jar.
Oh, that was a red jar. Okay. That's just bad luck on Simple Dude's end. I think he's had all of one 200 P-Bag so far.
Yeah, he is hurting badly in that department. Cantaloupe Me in the swamp encounter takes an encounter on the road, so that's a minimal time loss. Hopefully for his sake, that's the only time loss. He's going to gamble here, but he takes the heavy encounter, so he's got to deal with these stupid Moby birds. I hate these birds. But
yeah,
he takes
but at least he avoids them. And Simple, knowing that he was wrecked here, has to take the encounter right on the clear tile. Best idea for him.
Yeah, bad spawns. You can't. It's very hard to go through the swamp without taking an encounter, just because you're wading so slowly through that mire.
And the thing is, with regards to your magic, you cast Fairy in the heart container because you know you're going to get the red jar entering too. That's a guaranteed red jar.
Yeah, there's a couple. Is that the only palace, or is there another palace where there's a guaranteed red jar?
There's guaranteed red jars in 1, 2, and 5, but 1 and 5 you don't have the chance for a statue at the very beginning of the palace.
Gotcha. Okay, so anyways, this is the second palace of the game. This is the Maduro Palace, and the item they're going to be seeking out is the Magic Glove. And of course, what the Magic Glove does is that it powers up your sword to break blocks.
It's not like a power glove?
No, unfortunately, it's not like a power glove where you're lifting up the boulders in Zelda 1, and it does not make your attack power stronger with your sword. It just makes your sword break blocks. But it's an important thing because you're going to see later on in many of these palaces where breaking blocks is going to be something you have to do.
But couldn't you just lift up your fingers and jump magically with a power glove?
You would think you could do just that, but unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way, Rick.
Yeah, I think we should stop talking about that because the stream is not brought to you by Mattel.
No, it's not. Anyways, it's now attack 5 for Cantaloupe Me, and right now, looking at his numbers here, he's got Magic 2 and Life 2. That means it's 150 points for Life 3 and 300 points for Magic 3. Right now, he's in extremely good shape.
You're going to see him take another upgrade before he gets to attack 6.
Oh, no question about it. There's enough points to go around where he could do so. My best guess is he's going to come out at 6-2-3 if I had to take a shot at it.
Yeah, that's probably where I see him going.
So here's this very treacherous room here. Remember what I said that bots are a dangerous enemy and they're no fun? That is the safe strat, and some people wouldn't use the fairy strat, but you're gonna get a red jar coming up soon anyways. But yep, you gotta do it this way, especially against a racer like Simple. Not gonna take any chances. Don't fall in that lava.
And Simple gets through there cleanly.
Yeah, no surprise there. Again, he's again world record holder for a reason. Yeah, he made that room look like his playground. Finally, a P-Bag drop. That is something else. We haven't seen too many of those from Simple Dude. There it is, man.
His second one.
I think you're right, Rick.
Both of these guys just making quick work of Palace number 2. You know, just the way they're just slicing and dicing through all these rooms, all these encounters. You know, just make it look easy compared to how somebody like you and I would play this.
That was a really good block room there, and he got there just in time. You see those blocks stack up very quickly on Cantaloupe's end?
Both of them with amazing block rooms.
Yeah, and there is a chance, because you don't have this magic glove yet, because if you get a bad pattern...
Get out of their camp.
Oh, zombie strats on Cantaloupe's end!
He's
Holy
gonna have to hope that the
smokes.
blocks don't nail him on this room here.
Yeah, one hit.
Oh, he
is
gets
done.
life upgrade just in time.
Holy smokes! Can you believe the luck for Cantaloupeme right now?
Oh my
This could have
goodness.
changed the race, and he got lucky at just the right time. My goodness.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was just amazing timing right there on Cantaloupe's end.
Wow, I cannot believe it. And that's the kind of luck you have to have in a race against simpoldood. And so
you
far,
noticed-
Cantaloupeme.
And you notice he ferried by both of those red iron knuckles. He's in such a great position right now. He doesn't need it. And you see, he doesn't even need that P bag.
Another P bag, man. P bags for days for Cantaloupeme again.
Oh my goodness. Oh, red jar luck on Simple's end.
That's just the way it's been all night so far for simpoldood. He cannot catch a break, and the way this is going, he's going to struggle to get attack 6 coming out of this palace. He's not going to have 6-2-3.
You notice he backed up there trying to take care of that Staphos just because he wants to make sure he can get to attack 5 before he gets to the boss, I believe. It's once again, it comes down to routing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this bad luck on Simple's end has just allowed Cantaloupe just to build a bigger lead, and we'll see how it comes out when we get to the later palaces. This could be a nice, tight, close race. I'd like one like those.
Oh, I'd love to see one of those too right now. But yeah, so far so good. Cantaloupeme is doing exactly everything that he needs to be doing against Simple, and he's getting all the luck as well.
Yeah, he's going to be in great shape to get 6-2-3 out of here.
Yep, he's in position to get it right now. So the only thing that could stop him, and boy, by cracky, let's hope it doesn't happen to him, is that he levels up incorrectly. Because right now, he's in good shape. The boss of this palace is Helmet Head, and he's worth 200 points. And next up after the 300 is going to be attack 6, so he's there.
Life 4... You know, I think he's in great shape here. He's going to take care of that one orange iron knuckle there just because he just kind of blacks away. Finally, P-bag luck, but maybe too little too late there for Simple is trying to get out of here with the numbers he does. Cantaloupe with a rough helmet head, but finally takes care of him.
Yep, he does take care of him indeed, so good fight there, and there he is, 3,000.
Yep, he needed 400 to get to that hurdle, and Simple trying to take care of Helmet Head the same. He's having the same kind of difficulty.
Now, the good news for simpoldood is he, too, is going to have attack 6 coming out of Palace 2, but he's going to have 6-1-2 as opposed to 6-2-3. However, Rick, these paths are going to converge when we get to the end of Palace 3. I expect both of them to still have 6-3-3.
Yep. And, you know, magic... Your lower level magic means that this is just going to cost you more to use the favorite spells that you love to do. And
Cantaloupeme getting unlucky in the swamp so far. That's 2 encounters plus the heavy one, and he's lucky he doesn't take damage against those Mobies. Because if you get hit by a Moby, ouch! In the swamp again. This is a chance for simpoldood to catch up right here.
Yeah,
no encounter so far.
Simple had a heavy encounter, and one thing you always got to be careful of when you take an encounter, when you're leveling up, when you're building up your experience points, is that you don't soft lock the game.
Yeah, that's right. What Rick means by soft locking the game, if you exit the screen,
they're back screen for screen again.
Wow, that swamp makes a difference, folks, because I'd seen some runs that simpoldood had last night, and he had lost some PBs due to that swamp. And this swamp now could give him the chance to be back into even. It's 31-33 coming out for Cantaloupe, and 31-34. It's like less than a second between the two now. That lead Cantaloupeme had just evaporated because of that swamp walk.
Yeah, the tough swamp walk. We'll have to talk to Cantaloupe about that a little bit later on. Ooh, he could not get the right jar, and neither could simpoldood.
So yeah, tough break there for both players. So this is the third palace of the game.
I think we were talking about soft locking the game earlier, Ed.
Yeah, I didn't finish that. Yeah,
we were saying there before we had the amazing screen for screen.
Yep. What happens is if you exit the screen at the exact same time that you have leveled up completely, the game doesn't know what to do, and the game pretty much freezes up. You'll see a dark colored screen. It's either going to be light blue or black, depending on what kind of screen you're at. The music continues to play, but there's nothing you can do about it. You soft lock the game and rip.
You're done.
Yep, and we do not want to see that from either of these players.
Absolutely. That's a rough way to lose a run. Very rough way to lose a run. And there's like 3 possible places where you got to worry about that. The screen here not treating Cantaloupe too nicely, but I think he would love to. Both of these guys would love to get a jar right now so they can replenish their magic, so they can get life spell.
Certainly.
Although simpoldood did opt to finally get his magic up to level 2. 6, 2, 3 for both.
Yep. Like I said, if you get to attack 6, there is a very good chance you're going to be back on par with your opponent with the leveling up. Cantaloupeme is now outside, and he gets a P-bag drop. Now, he's went ahead and gone to magic level 3, so I'm anticipating he's going to be at 7-3-3 coming out.
Sounds about correct. But what a run for both of these guys. Just the amazing fact that they're still screen for screen. A little bit of separation early on, but it's now called right back up.
Yep, the game knows, Rick. I think the game knows who the runners are. And here we go, a very tough room for Cantaloupeme. He's got to be careful that the bots don't knock him to the lava. Not in this stage of the game. He gets through it. One more to go. No problems for Cantaloupe.
Yeah, we saw that happen in one of the runs where somebody ended up taking a bad bomb from one of the bots there and ended up having to cast Fairy and go all the way back out.
And that ended up costing a lot of time. And Cantaloupe does not have enough magic, and it doesn't look like Simple's going to have enough magic.
He does.
Now he does have enough magic. I was just pointing out he's not going to have enough magic to use the fairy to pick up that item. Now he does.
Little differences like that could be where this run comes a differential between these two runners. Just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Rick. That swamp, I'm telling you, that swamp could be where this race takes a turn, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if we saw more turns in this race.
We're going to probably see a lot of twists and turns, and, we're talking about 2 high-caliber runners. Simpoldood getting the red jar. Good decision for him to refresh his magic. Cantaloupe did not opt to do that.
Yeah, he's going to need some magic potentially against the boss of this palace, the Rebanak. By the way, I didn't mention that the item that they picked up was the raft, and the raft is hopefully only going to be used once throughout the duration of this race, and it's the transportation to get you from Western Hyrule to Eastern Hyrule.
And you notice that simpoldood ended up opting not to get that 200p bag once it dropped from the Iron Knuckle.
He no longer needs it.
Yep. And we're now back at the same position where both of them are at a comfortable level. They're going to end up leaving here with attack 7. There's going to be 7-3-3 for both. So early differentials between these runners as far as their levels, it's now no longer that case.
It very well could have been the case for Simple had he gotten 1 fewer P-bag drop, but in the end, yeah, if you get attack 6, like I said, you're going to be catching up to your opponent with the leveling up. 6-3-3, it's going to be 7-3-3. Rebanak is the boss coming up worth 301. Yes, 301, not 300, even though the game says 300 because I don't know. I didn't make this game.
Here's the first Rebanak end on Cantaloupe's end. How would the fight go? He's got no room to cast magic. He's got no room to cast life.
Yeah, he has to have a clean fight. He's taking a risk here, folks. And that's not
he got it.
Oh, close call there for Cantaloupe. Very close call there. Let's see how Simple does in his fight.
His fight, not clean either, but he gets it done. Both of these guys exiting Palace 3 within seconds of each other.
So about an even Steven race coming out of Palace number 3. It's a 36-19 for Cantaloupeme, and Simpoldood's going to be about 4 seconds behind.
Maybe more like 2 seconds behind because his fill-up is less than Cantaloupe's.
True. So, yeah, neck and neck after Eastern or Western Hyrule coming into Eastern Hyrule. This is amazing, folks. Hold on to your hats. If they keep playing the way they've been playing, we could see a couple things boil down to who might win this race. Stay tuned.
Yes, this is just exciting here. 36 minutes in, we've got quite a very, very close race between both of these runners. This could be where Death Abuse comes into play in Palace 4. You might almost have to do it.
Yeah, knowing who your opponents are. I mean, especially on Cantaloupe's end, taking an encounter on the road.
Oh, both on the raft at the same time.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yep, they are both on the raft at the same time. Now we go to the...
taking a counter before town. Simple's the first one to get some water. Talk about that.
Wow, that is just completely insane. Holy smoke. So here we are. This is the next town of the game. This is the town of Naburu. Very peaceful town. But it's known, it's got the reputation for this one lazy citizen here. This girl who lives in this brick house here. She needs a drink of water. She's thirsty. She can't do it by herself. But here's the thing. She lives 20 feet from the fountain, or as I like to say, 6 or 7 yards. And what do you get as a reward for giving this poor, young, thirsty, lazy girl this glass of water? Why, you get the fire spell, which does almost absolutely nothing. But to be fair, Rick, it does do 2 things. Number 1, it's used to kill Tektites and Zoras. It's the only way to kill. Yes?
Laz, we do have to interrupt because you got to remember, we're on a restreamer for a person that's from the European Union. How many meters from the house does she live?
About 6 to 7 meters, because a meter is about 3 inches longer than a yard.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So the fire spell is used to kill Tektites and Zoras, and some people use it against Darklink for swag points. Back to your regularly scheduled race.
So now, as they go through this lovely little cave, the question is who will get the amount of skips here through? Oh, Fairy comes through. Simple dude with the dodge. He's going to get to the bridge. Oh, can he get by this one? He does. Oh, wow.
Very swag moves there. I tell you, Sprite wanted to troll Simple so badly, he would have none of it. How about Cantaloupe?
And Cantaloupe clean too.
Very nice. So again, they continue neck and neck here. Very important scene coming up here. You're going to be rescuing this child here, and you want to be using the fairy spell. Let's see if, Simple uses it the way he should, as does Cantaloupe.
Well, at this stage in the game, you know that you use the fairy to rescue the kid. You don't have any excuse for not using the fairy because you're full on magic.
That's right. And you don't want to not use the fairy spell and not kill the orange Lizalfos when you rescue the child, because if you do, you're going to lose life.
This walk is going to be very important here, Laz. This walk's going to be very important.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. This is where one of these 2 players could build a substantial lead over one another. We'll see what happens. Oh, yes, indeed. Watch out for them
Simple
fairies.
with a clean run.
Holy smokes, that is just unbelievable.
Fairy drop for him.
Oh, Sprite, please. Well, if you're going to lose time, lose it to just a fairy. The important thing is, did he move it in time? I don't know if he did.
He didn't. He did.
Oh, no. He did not. Oh, and this is where Simple's going to take the lead.
Oh my goodness.
So it's 40-30 coming into the town
Oh, he did
of
not
Darunia.
get the skip again.
Oh, the jukes, and he's not going to use it, and now Simple's going to have quite a lead.
Jump!
This is
Jump!
Oh, man.
Simple with the jump.
He went with the super jump. He went with the super jump. I don't believe it. Now he's just showing off, ladies and gentlemen. Now Simple Dude is just showing off. All right. Before we get too excited here, let's talk about what needs to be done here in the town of Darunia.
And Fairy Claws on Cantaloupe's end.
Right. The first thing you got to do is get the second and final sword ability, and that's the upward stab. Then what you got to do is you got to return the child to the rightful family to pick up the next spell of the game, which is the reflex spell. And the reflex spell is absolutely required. Why is that, Rick?
Because this is 100% number 1, and number 2, you need to kill the boss of Palace 4. This is just an amazing run through 41 minutes. I'm sorry.
That is, I know, this has been quite a run, but yeah, that trip to Darunia may have just turned this race in favor of Simple, unless he has a bad trek coming out. That is still something to consider, Rick.
Yes, you're correct, but this is, you got to remember, both of these guys are still going to have to get encounter skips coming out of this town.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see exactly what happens. And then, of course, you still got the thing called River Dance that is about 30 seconds of a time loss if you don't nail it.
You got River Dance, but you also got to get back to the bridge here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So this is still not necessarily anything major to talk about. And, counter skip 1 for Simple Dude.
Yep, he needed to get that. He's got to keep the pressure on Cantaloupe by getting these encounter skips. And if he can get a clean walk back, Yes, indeed. That is exactly what he needed to do.
Here we go. Here's the walk. Here's the important walk. Oh, they want to get him. They got him.
They did indeed.
Oh, no encounter skip for Fap.
Yeah, so he's going to lose even more time to Simple. This is, I got a feeling this could be, it's still early because there's a lot of things that could turn this around, including, Valley of Death, but this is not what Cantaloupe needed.
Absolutely. He does get the second skip, though, and let's see how he can get through the forest. If he can get it without an encounter, see if the enemies can treat him nice. Oh, no, he does not get it.
Ouch.
And Simple Dude's going to be the first one to get to the magic container.
Yep,
he cast a fairy after he grabbed the container.
Oh, whoops. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem for Simple Dude, but yeah, a little minor mistake there, but I don't think it's going to hurt him too badly. But yeah,
interesting timing right there.
Yeah, indeed. It's one of those, mental mistakes there. I mean, it can happen to anybody. What?
I don't think it was a mental mistake. I think he casted Life, but then he grabbed Fairy. But I think what ended up happening is he hit the magic container at the same time he wanted to hit the select button to get.
So he lost the said tiebreaker. Tough. Nah.
So Simple Dude's going to be the first one to palace number 4. Cantaloupe, breathe him right down his neck.
So palace number 4 here. This is the Maze Palace because appropriately the palace is on the maze. Unfortunately, does not get the red jar off of that red iron knuckle, so his magic is still not going to be full. The item in this game is the boots, Rick.
Yes, we'll talk about them when he gets to them.
Yep, so now this is the palace. This is where we're talking about how having as many lives in stock is important because they're going to be taking some death abuse chances here. There are 3 opportunities where you're going to be taking a death abuse. All the screens look the same except for the enemy structures on them, and there's a key at the end of each of these said rooms. And at the end of the room, after you pick up the key, you'll have a decision on whether or not you want to take an intentional death into the lava. And factors might influence your decision, including whether or not you get a red jar out of the Iron Knuckle statue.
It is a 31-second difference right now between Simple Dude and Cantaloupe.
Yeah, that is still very much manageable for Cantaloupe Me to catch up here, but he has to be flawless. That the encounter skip only going 2 for 4 is what the difference is between these two players right now.
And Simple not opting to death abuse here.
Yeah, when you get the red jar out of that Iron Knuckle statue, you don't have to take the death abuse. Now, considering where Cantaloupe Me is, let's see if he takes the death abuse.
We'll find out soon enough. Anyways, Simple Dude now making his way over to the right, where he is going to be going for the item in Palace number 4. As we mentioned before, they're the boots. These boots are made for walking, and that's what they're going to do because they're going to get you on the way over to Palace number 5. And I know you want to talk about that dive, so go ahead because I missed it.
Yeah, what happened was he went ahead and took the death abuse there, and that was a pretty good dive. He did a half twist, high jump, using the sword beam against the Iron Knuckle statue. It was a solid dive. I'll give him an 8.
So Fab currently leading the diving competition.
Yep, but more importantly, he's trailing in this race. He wants to be ahead in this race. But yeah, not taking the death abuse did Simple. So if he were to take all 3 death abuses, Cantaloupe Me, yeah, he could get back to potentially within 20 seconds. But then we've got this boss coming up, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit.
Yep, we'll give him the proper introduction when we get down to the basement of Palace number 4 because he's quite the creature. And dive for Simple Dude off the wall into the lava.
Yeah, I like that off-the-wall dive there. And he got really good distance in spite of starting from the wall. And he took a stab there. And you know what? Off the wall. Give him some swag points there. I'll give him an 8.5. Nice dive.
I'll give Simple right now a 9.
Very good. And there's a second death abuse on Cantaloupe's side.
Yes,
and
it is.
What did you give that dive?
Yeah, we're going to go with the crunch stab and swing off the wall in the platform. I think we're going to do that one a 8.5.
Yeah, I agree. I'm also going to give Cantaloupe an 8.5 on that dive. So it's pretty close between these two competitors in the diving contest. So two death abuses for Cantaloupe, 1 right now so far for Simple. So he's going to gain a little bit of time at least on Simple, provided that the rest of Palace 4 goes well.
Yeah, we'll see how this room goes for Cantaloupe.
The
Simple,
room you hate.
yeah, I hate these rooms, but Simple had an all right stretch of this room. Cantaloupe taking his time and no issues. He doesn't get bopped. So
That was perfectly done. Yep, very nice. He keeps his beam sword, hopefully for more another P-bag drop like he needs it.
Yeah, both of these guys are now already well in hand to get 8,000 coming out of Palace number 4, which would give them attack 8.
Yep, looking at the statistics here, it's 700 points for Magic
Simple's
4.
got to be careful.
Ooh, yeah, he's down to 1 bar of health. He takes another bop like that, he's going to lose a life, and that could be costly, depending on where he loses that life. If he loses it, like, towards the end of a room.
The red jar. Nice timing on that.
Boy, he's been getting red jars all night, and they really hindered him early on. That's the best time to get a red jar right there.
Absolutely. He is now getting the luck he needs as Cantaloupe grabbing the key that you need, the upstab is what I guess you're going to call it.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, oh man. This is a good race between these two players so far, and there's, again, going to be one more Death Abuse coming up for both of these players, and tell you what, it's a 48-50 right now for Simple coming out of that second block room, the one that's more manageable than the one that you don't like. And for Cantaloupe Me, it's a 49-08. It's only 18 seconds, so he has picked up some time on Simple Dude has Cantaloupe.
Yep. So the third and final dive for these competitors coming up, Simple with a 0 and a 9. And he's just going to go and ferry into the lava. Wow!
Oh my goodness, the swag points right there. The downward stab into a ferry. There's no way I can't give him a 10. That's a 10 right there for swag points.
Good night, everyone.
Yeah, Simple won. Simple just won right there.
Yes.
And
it's like he knows we're watching.
Yep. So an 8, I gave as for Cantaloupe's final dive. They both took the Death Abuse, by the way. I gave him an 8 for that one.
Well, we're getting ready for the basement of Palace number 4, so I guess it's time for us to give the proper introduction.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Is the boss of Palace number 4, and he's brought to you by the letters RNG.
Yeah, that's right. Cantaloupe is this, or not Cantaloupe, but Karok is this very huge Wizrobe, and he's pretty much a game of RNG. How fast can you kill him? Will he cooperate? You got to have the Reflect spell to reflect the beams back toward him. The first hit is for free, but the other 7 hits, good luck.
And so far, it does look like Simple's having an alright time against this. Oh, got him down to 1 more. Can he get it? Yes, he does. That's not a bad Karok.
Yeah, that's a decent fight for him. That I haven't seen too many good Karok fights lately. That's one of the better ones I've seen in a while. So 2 more hits for Cantaloupe. Well, that was a pretty good Karok fight for Cantaloupe. Wow, so very nicely done. Both had pretty good Karok fights, but I think we're going to see a little more time gain. Yeah, it's about a 16-second race now coming out of Palace number 4. So we got ourselves a ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
50-57 for Simple Dude out of Palace number 4. And Cantaloupe coming out at 51-13.
This is too... Yes.
That is all of 16 seconds.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I did not expect this to be this close, this late. I am excited about this. We'll see what happens.
Eco key. Let's see.
Eco key opportunity, yep.
Who goes for it, who doesn't?
I don't know if Cantaloupe Me is going to be able to go for Eco key. I know Simple Dude's going to go for it.
Simple's going to go for it.
Will he get it, though?
He gets it.
Wow, that is clutch right there. That's several seconds he gains, and Cantaloupe Me will not go for it. That was a huge conversion right there for Simple Dude. That's going to probably put him ahead by about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah, because you got to remember, Cantaloupe's got to backtrack to grab the key as you normally would have to in this case. Simple just made that look really easy, that Eco key.
Absolutely, and that is one of the reasons why Simple Dude is the number 1. And I mean, he gets it more often than not. I mean, let's face it, he's one of the better players at getting Eco Key in this game.
All right, let's take a see in how the black room is going to treat our 2 runners.
Yes, so we're starting with a simple dude here. It's like what I like to call the Dikembe Moatumbo room. For this reason, that fiery moa that's swirling all over the place. You got to get this key. Nice grab there by Simple.
Blocks.
Well, the blocks are doing Dikembe Moatumbo's job, so Moatumbo not getting the job, then the blocks doing the work for him.
And now we're going to see how Cantaloupe does with that room.
Well, if Cantaloupe can get a better room, he can shave a few seconds that he lost by not getting the eco key. But these blocks are high. Oh, he gets knocked down. Oof. But he does. Oh, he almost missed it. Almost overshot the mark there, did Cantaloupe. But he's able to get that key and does not get hit by Moatumbo either.
If you're going to overshoot the key, I'd rather land on the platform than to land off the platform.
Yeah, exactly. But I've seen in one instance where they did even overshoot the platform. They got on the platform and missed the key the second time, and they ended up losing a lot of time when that happened.
Yeah, because while that's going on, the blocks continue to stack.
Yep, that's right. Now, coming out of this palace, they're going to want to have 9,000 experience points. Now, looking at Cantaloupe, he's at 844. It's 800 to get to Life 5 and 1,200 to get to Magic 5. So why 9,000 points? Well, by having 9,000 points at the end of this palace, you can level up 4 times and get to 866. But, Rick, you don't want to go to Attack 9.
That would be pretty much the death of a run if you are trying to run this in a regular category. But for these runners, it's going to be like a moment.
Okay, so yeah, neither of these players should have any problems getting to that 9,000 point plateau. If they were running low on experience
nice
points.
Blue iron knuckle there by Simple Dude going right into a fairy.
That was terrific right there. Well played.
And
the item in this, by the way, they just picked up the flute, and the flute is also known as the plunger or plumber's helper. 2 uses. Number 1, it's used to ward off the River Devil, and number 2, it is used to gain entrance to the 6th palace of the game.
Yep, we'll talk about that when we get through the River Dance segment of this run. But first, we are continuing on with this run through Palace number 5. The thing is when you're routing up your experience points, you just got to remember that Gooma, the boss of Palace 5, gives you 500 points.
Yep, 500 points, and which means when they get to 844, as both of these players are at right now, you're going to want to have at least 700 points coming into the fight. You have 700 points, you're in good shape. But you got to be careful against the Gooma boss because, boy, does he pack a punch.
And we're seeing a difference in the Palace 5 strategy as Cantaloupe opts to get the key at the dead end first, then go to get the flute, as opposed to Simple, who already grabbed the flute, now going to who just wanted to grab the dead end key.
Yeah, and I think it's just a matter of preferences. I think both of these routes are about the same time-wise.
Right. There's nothing to gain by going one way or the other. It's just a difference in the routes. So you're seeing what looked like maybe Cantaloupe may have taken the lead, but no, he hasn't. He's still got to get this out of Palace 5, and he's going to have to hold it up in the hand hold it up in the air rather, because he's out of the fairy spell range.
Unfortunately, so he's going to lose a few seconds by not being able to use the fairy spell. So tough break there for Cantaloupe.
So entering Palace 5, both of these runners were 17 seconds within each other, with Simple Dude with the lead. I'm going to guess probably more like a half a minute now, just because of the eco key on Simple Dude's end.
If I were to take a shot in the dark here, Rick, I'm going to say that lead is going to double to 34. That is going to be my guess. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Gooma could take out either one of these places. Like I said, he packs a punch, and if you go too aggressive on him, yeah, you will lose a life.
And you've also got to be careful, because you still got one more nasty room of these good old fire-wielding enemies. What are they called again?
They're called Magos, and they are good on grinding for experience if you are in an experience fix, which neither of these players are, because they're worth 200 points apiece, and with Attack 8, they go down in just 2 hits. But it's a risk because they deal a lot of damage, and they keep on teleporting all over the place.
Yeah, and normally at this stage, you're not supposed to be a life 4 in Palace 5 if you're a casual runner.
No, not at all. You probably want to be closer to life 6 or 7.
Yeah, if not life 8 at this point.
Certainly.
So we're heading on over to the boss of Palace number 5. We mentioned him really briefly. His name is Gooma. He gives you 500 experience points, and both of these runners are going to be in great shape to get to what is technically known as Attack 9, but they're not going to take it. This boss can pack a punch, and we'll see how he does against our runners.
And I say that because even on life 4 and having the shield spell up, getting bopped by Goomba takes like 2 full bars of your life meter away. So you can't be taking too many hits against him. You better have enough magic that if you do take a lot of hits, that you can cast life. Well, here's a Simple's fight.
Yeah, he gets bopped once, but then gets Goomba taken down. Not too many problems.
Yep, so a decent Goomba fight there for Simple Dude, and he wisely not takes the 9,000, hopefully. So here we go. He's going to place that crystal. I've got 5806.
5806 for him placing the gem in. We'll see where Cantaloupe goes after the Goomba fight.
Well, he needs a strong Goomba fight right here. He might have to go aggressive here. And he's got plenty of magic just in case. Well, there's a bop right there. Nice small jackhammer there, and got him.
And now Simple Dude grabbing the heart container, coming up to palace number 5. And time to see how Riverdance works.
35 seconds is the difference between these two racers. It's 58-41 for Cantaloupe.
And now time to see how Riverdance treats Simple as he just tries to run himself off the town, try to see where the bots end up, plays the flute, and gets the skip.
Yep, he got it. So the pressure is on Cantaloupe. He has to get the Riverdance skip. If he does not, he's going to be more than a minute behind.
And we see Simple Dude getting up to his 8, 6, and 6 levels. And setting himself up for proper 8, 7, or whatever the case might be, coming out of palace number 6.
For both, probably going to be 8, 8, 6, I would imagine.
And the flu used for Cantaloupe, can he get the
success
skip?
For Cantaloupe, yes.
Success, yep.
All right, so there's 3 Wilson wall screens, but by getting that skip, they only have to go through 2 of them, and Simple Dude's just going to ferry his way through both of them because they're very nasty screens, because you've got enemies on the ground, you've got these Lizalfos throwing these rocks at you. It's no fun.
So right now, it is a 37-second lead here for Simple Dude.
And
Palace
again,
6 is still not a free palace. You can still make mistakes.
That's true, and good news for you fire lovers. Simple Dude's going to use the fire spell against these 50-point Tektites. Again, the points really don't matter that much. People like to use it for swag. Some people would use the fairy spell, but fire spell is the alternative.
And some do it just because TGE might be watching.
Oh, that is true. Or he might even be in the commentator's booth, but I know he's been busy with his job, but yeah, we do all miss TGE, and we do wish him well in his current ventures right now.
That is correct. And a encounter for Cantaloupe. So just and a second counter. This is not what he needs right now. He needs to find ways to catch up, not lose time.
Yeah, and he's got to hope that Simple Dude makes some mistakes in Palace number 6. I mean, that might be asking for a lot, but that's at the moment he's got to. He cannot lose it right now. Yes.
Laz, remember the magic word.
Fairy. I know what it is. It's spell.
Control goes to the chat.
Yes, it does. Anyways, the spell is used for 2 reasons. Number 1, at the eastern end of town, you're going to cast the spell to make this house rise from the ashes. And inside this house, what do you give that pose, chat? Inside this house is the magic key. Magic key, just like the magic key in Zelda 1, enables you to unlock all of the doors in palaces.
It's a required item in this category, but if you are a casual player, you do need to have this because Palace 6 gives you a nice little welcoming party the minute you step inside.
Yeah, I think if you don't pick up the magic key, there's like somebody that says, hey, you need to pick up this magic key if you want to continue playing this game or something along those lines. I've actually never seen this message before, Rick, so...
Well, what it is you come up to the very bottom of the elevator, and there's a locked door. And you don't get any keys before you go to that locked door.
Yeah, that's right.
That's where you find out, there better be a key that I can use to get through it.
There you go. And the final thing they're going to pick up is this 8th and final magic container. And the reason why you pick it up last, even though it's the first thing you encounter, is because by then you have already used some of your magic. And by picking up the magic container, your magic goes back to full.
Magic management is something that you're going to see all these runners do in the course of the Zelda 2 tournament.
Oh, most definitely.
Not to manage your magic well means you're going to have a lot of problems.
Ooh, getting bopped by that Tektite there is simpoldood on his way out of the town of Kasuto.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, Cantaloupe needs simpoldood to make a botch somewhere, or maybe take an untimely death.
Yeah, Valley of Death might be a situation. Ooh, Sprite does not troll simpoldood. Can he get through? Oh my goodness, the slink.
He does not.
Quite. Almost got away with it, but just gets caught before you can get to that final heart container. Yes, this is the 8th and final heart container of the game right here in the desert, just before you get to the 6th palace of the game, 3-Eye Rock Palace. Play the melody. Ooh, he could get trolled.
Aim the cross.
Does not get trolled. All right, so fortunate there. It's about 1:03:36 to entrance of Palace 6 for simpoldood.
Yeah, and I think Cantaloupe lost some time because of his encounters entering into the cave.
And he takes an encounter in the forest right here, so it's going to be an even bigger lead for simpoldood when Cantaloupe gets in. Hopefully no more encounters. No!
Yeah, that was just a tough setup there for Cantaloupe, and he didn't need that.
Very, very unfortunate there. So this is going to be very close to a 1-minute lead for simpoldood. It's 49 seconds.
Yeah.
So here we are in the 6th palace of the game. Again, 3-Eye Rock Palace. And as you mentioned, Rick, the cross is the item. Now, the cross is an optional item for casual players. What it's used for is you'll be able to see the invisible Moa enemies that are in both Old Kasuto Town and also in the Valley of Death.
You just got to be careful here not to deal with the Canadian hole.
And the Canadian hole, there are some false floors in this room that Simple's in right now, and unfortunately you have no holy water to find out which of these floors are false. You just got to know the layout of this particular room, and if you fall into that Canadian hole, you're going to be losing a ton of time. And in simpoldood's case, if by some reason it didn't happen, but if he would have fallen,
what a Rebenek
would have
fight.
been even. Man, that's one of the better Rebenek fights you will ever see. Simpoldood made that look like nothing. It's like a hot knife through butter there.
Oh my goodness, simpoldood is having all the run right now. It seemed like Cantaloupe was having quite the run early on, but then all of a sudden it's just like the simpoldood just turned on the afterburners once he got to Eastern Hyrule.
Yeah, Western Hyrule, it was all Cantaloupe. Eastern Hyrule, it's been all simpoldood.
And if you look at his splits, simpoldood has been pretty much evenly 126, the 120-126 range here for his times above his PB pace.
Great Rebenek fight for Cantaloupe. Yes, indeed. He's stayed at around that 126 pace, so he's been on PB pace in the second half. So he's had himself a great second half. Cantaloupe has just had some bad luck with the encounters. That's pretty much the only thing that's separating him is the encounters.
Yeah, and that's where you get to the stage of the tournament, whether it be the quarterfinals, the semifinals. Encounters might be the big difference between a win and a loss, the random encounters.
Absolutely. Well, that was a close call there for Simple. Those sine curve raw statues.
Wow. I think he just barely landed on that platform.
Yeah, he barely made it. That could have been ugly because he's only taken 2 death abuses, so I believe he'd still have 2 lives remaining. And I mean, that's a little bit dicey. But if Cantaloupe were to take a death, he'd be down to 1 life.
Yep. That would be a very, very problematic situation here for Cantaloupe. And don't forget, we've got Valley of Death coming up still. This race is not done and over with yet, and a lucky jar drop there for Cantaloupe.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the Valley of Death, as we have seen before, has cost a few runners races, including Cantaloupeme, where he could have gone into Great Palace with a minute lead and said he was the one trailing, ended up losing the race to Dan H. So if that same luck were to happen to simpoldood, then this race would be flipped upside down. So it's not over yet, like you say, Rick.
Yeah, and you notice that Cantaloupe is just taking it a little easy through here. He doesn't want to get juked into a hole.
No, not at all. And that was another good Rebenak fight on Simple's side.
Yep, as he's about ready to drop into the final pit, and it's time to take care of Barba. Will we see Jackhammer strats? He tried to say no, we weren't going to see Jackhammer strats the last time we did a simpoldood race, and he kind of surprised us. He did.
It's a 50-50 proposition. I don't know if he knows the position he's in right now. If he knew the position he was in right now, I bet he goes for it.
Here he goes. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
Unbelievable. That Barba fight was immaculate, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect jackhammer. And that's why simpoldood.
Fight.
I know, right, Rick? That fight was just too good.
108-21.
My goodness. Now, Cantaloupe is at the second Rebenak fight right now. So he's going to be about a minute behind, if not more.
Yeah, probably a little bit more at this stage because he's still got to go down the pit. So I'm thinking probably more like maybe 75 seconds.
We'll take a look when we get to that. Right now, it's 876 currently. And, yep, as I expected, 886 is what Simple is going to be shooting for. Now, you're going to use the fairy spell right there before you level up completely because, again, you get all your magic back, and that screen is a pain because you've got those Baggo Skullfish, and you've got the pits, the broken bridge.
And time to claim the most powerful magic.
Yes, indeed, the Thunder Spell. And, of course, what the Thunder Spell does is it's the only way you can lay a finger on Thunderbird, and that was a good one-cycle Barba fight for Cantaloupe.
Yep.
You projected it was going to be about a 75-second lead. It's a 70-second lead for simpoldood.
Not out of the question, but Cantaloupe needs Simple to have something happen in this upcoming run.
Yes, indeed. So Valley of Death has to treat Simple very poorly, and Cantaloupeme has to have an immaculate Valley of Death. If those things do not happen, it's going to be very tough for Cantaloupeme to catch up. It would take a game over at this point.
Yep. So both runners going 886, 876 as they go through the Valley of Death, and then they'll go grab the Magic 8 somewhere in the Great Palace.
And optimally, they'd like to try and get Magic 8 as late as possible because you want to try and save up your lives, in case everything goes haywire against either Thunderbird or Dark Link.
Encounter skip for simpoldood.
Yep, nicely done right there, trying to slink his way through it. Beautifully done.
Oh, he went too fast.
Yeah, a little too fast, but that's quite all right. Hopefully he does not get juked when... Ooh, there is a little juke there, but he will get it on the second try.
Yep. Yeah, he was moving too fast there. I think he was expecting them to catch up to him, but they didn't.
Yep.
But he's just gonna have to be careful. You don't want to take a jump into a pit. We saw that happen.
All right.
We saw that happen in previous races.
Yes, we have seen that, and gets the second encounter skip as well. So this has been a good first half of Valley of Death for simpoldood. So the pressure is really on Cantaloupeme. He has to have practically the same Valley of Death to have any chance at this point. Ooh, nearly taking a fall there. Does Cantaloupeme? He's lucky to survive that one.
Wow. Oh, wow.
All right, let's see what's simpoldood. Can he get the quick go around? No, Max giving him a problem. Swag points. He turned him into a bot and took care of the bot, so swag points for simpoldood.
Having problems with Max? Why not just use the spell?
Yep, good move there.
And
whoa! Oh, and he also went a little too quickly, just like simpoldood.
Yep.
Now oh, the juke! Oh, the juke!
Oh my goodness, this is not what Cantaloupe needs, and I can read his mouth right now. Well, it's probably 4-lettered words at this point.
Yep. It takes him 3 tries to get through that encounter skip where it took Simple just 2, and now we have a Great Palace sighting at 111.55 for simpoldood.
Ooh,
he's got to nail this one.
Taking an encounter in the valley before the counter skip.
He didn't get to the tile. He did get to the tile.
Well, he did, but he took an encounter beforehand too.
Yeah, I think they both took that same encounter, however. So here we are in the Great Palace, and they just took care of that spicy chicken, and they're worth 200 points, but at attack level 8, you still need 6 hits on them. Now, let's see how Cantaloupe... Well, one of the 2 hits needed, so unfortunately, no swipe points for Cantaloupe.
DFGG is a 4-letter word.
Yeah, it certainly is a 4-letter word indeed. All right, so next up after the spicy chickens, there's going to be this certain blue bird knight coming up that nobody likes, that we've given a kind name to, and we'll see that in just a little bit. It's 1:13:10 coming in for Cantaloupe. So that's what, 75 seconds about?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so they both had about an even valley of death at that point. So yeah, now someone called this. It was either Angry Larry or NES Smart.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, he's on beeping strats right now. By the way, those rooms, those block rooms that we like to talk about, I was listening in on the Zelda randomizer, Zelda 2 randomizer finals, and they call it the Chicken and Waffles room. What do you think of that name, Rick?
Interesting name.
I mean, the block name. It is an interesting name. The block rooms kind of do look like waffles, and you've got the Scott Bikulas and Bird Knights that are guarding in the way. So I can see that. I think it's a great name.
Oh, yeah. And
there's 886 for Simple.
Yep, Simple's going to cash in his chips, and he absolutely needed to at that point in time on beeping strats.
And he does not get the lucky red jar out of that focus statue, so he'll just keep on going. And here's
Speaking of focus.
Yep, here he comes, folks. The Blue Bird Knight himself, Scott Bikula. Oh, boy.
Oh, that kind of made it look easy.
Yeah, he made that look extremely easy, and he got through the part of the little Waffle House indeed, so that the Blue Bird Knight, Scott Bikula, can't get to him. That was a really good room for Simple.
Yeah, he's got a couple more challenging rooms coming up here, but I think Simple is pretty well. I mean, he's still got 2 lives in hand, so he can death abuse once he gets out of the next tough room. And here we go.
I'm sure we'll see him do that, considering his stats right now. He's about half on magic, but now he's down to 2.5 bars on life after taking a hit from that Blue Bird Knight.
Yeah, he's gonna fill up, and wisely so. You're gonna probably take a death abuse real soon, so.
Yep. So. He's got one more spicy chicken to deal with before he'll have an opportunity to get to that room that has the death abuse. Oh, he takes the death abuse right there.
I think Honeycomb's also an interesting name.
Yeah, Honeycomb Room is an interesting name, too. I like that as well. It kind of looks like the honeycomb cereal. I used to eat that a lot when I was a little kid. That's a good... Used to. Not anymore. And here's Scott Bikula and Cantaloupe's in, and good room for him as well. He got high enough. He's not going to be hit. That was well played for Cantaloupe.
Yep. But this kind of luck here is just almost too little too late at this point here for Cantaloupe.
Unfortunately. Yep. So... Boss bot down and not taking the death abuse because he's still on full on everything. So he's got 2 lives in hand. Yep, doesn't need to. Takes care of the spiky Mew for some more swag points. And here comes the Thunderbird fight. And at Magic 8, both of these players can use all of the goodies. Thunder, Shield Spell, Jump, and Reflect. Here we go.
Yep, here we go. Let's see how quick of a fight we've got for Simple Dude's end here. And wow!
1 cycle Thunderbird. That was really fast, Rick.
And he's cycling up for the fire spell, coming up for a Dark Link.
Yep, so...
Dark Link, 8 hits. Here we go.
8 hits is what you need to take care of Dark Link. Here we go.
So barring a major happen here, it's going to be Simple Dude moving on to the final 4 of this tournament, and give it up for Cantaloupe here. He had a fantastic run as well. We got 3 hits down, and that makes it 4 as the fires go all over the place. 5, 6, 7, and will we get the last hit? We get the final hit, and
there it is.
There's the dot done on Simple Dude's end, and how disappointing his dot done time on SRL. 1 hour, 17 minutes, 1 second.
Ooh, so yep, Cantaloupe needed a PB in order to beat simpoldood in this case, and he would have needed a PB by about 10 seconds. So I told you that is what he needed to have happen, and it looked like early on he had a shot. The first half of this game, it was all Cantaloupe, but the second half, it all came down to encounter skips.
Encounter skips, and just Cantaloupe had some rough patches. I mean, you could probably start talking about the unfortunate run through the swamp after Palace 2 for Cantaloupe.
That was the first turning point, in my opinion, of this race, because Cantaloupe had a pretty sizable lead coming out of Palace 2, but then simpoldood had a really good swamp walk, and Cantaloupe Me did not, and it went to even coming out of Western High Roll, and then the Darunia encounter skips, that pretty much was the difference, and then he just turned on the afterburners from there.
Yeah, and you're dealing with a great runner like simpoldood. You've got to not yield time like that. An unfortunate place to take an encounter for Cantaloupe was before he got into Nabru Town.
So a minute and 20 seconds ends up being the difference between these two racers. Do you have an official SRL time, Rick?
Official SRL time for FAP would be 1 hour 18:21.
So indeed, 80 seconds is the difference. And
ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the booth with us the winner of this matchup, simpoldood. Congratulations on your 117.01.
Thanks, guys.
simpoldood, I tell you what, the luck just was not on your side early on.
Yeah,
you kept getting red jar after red jar, and you had some problems getting the level ups there. You managed to get level 6 out of Palace number 2. And actually, here is the situation that I wanted to talk to you about. Cantaloupe is also in the commentator's booth with us. We'll get some comments from him in just a moment. You were actually trailing out of Palace 2, but the swamp walk was the first turning point. So I want you to go over the eastern side of Hyrule with us and what happened there that caused you to get such a lead.
I think when I got the P3 exit, no encounter, it's usually I can set up a good walk to Firetown. And after Firetown, that's the walk to the maze that's kind of luck. I mean, there's the standard strat, but sometimes you get the encounter, but I managed to do a pause buffer. I think I dodged a fairy and then a pause buffer just to eliminate the RNG for the next spawn set and made it to the bridge. And then, of course, towards Reflect Town, you have the Dazzle, which is consistent. But the exit, the maze return, I think that's what got me the big lead.
And that was part of the situation here. And we'll get some more questions out of you in just a moment. We now have Cantaloupe Me in the commentator's booth. Cantaloupe Me, you played a really, really good race, and you were actually in the lead for the first half of the game. But the unfortunate thing that happened to you, where it was the bad luck on the encounters. So go over that with us.
Well, that's shocking. With the way Palace 1 went, I wasn't expecting to be in the lead because I took a little extra time trying to kill bits for a second chance at the P bag, but luckily I got both 200 drops, which that very seldom happens anymore. But no, I just the first part of the game went really smooth, but I knew coming out of Palace 2, once I got those 3 swamp encounters and then the one desert encounter on the way to King's Cross, I was like, well, that's a good opportunity to lose time. And then on the Dazzle, I got that fairy spawn that just threw everything off, and I missed the first skip. And then on the way back wasn't bad. I had to take the first forced encounter, but I only had 1 encounter on the way back, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, it's just typical encounter luck, and I knew going into this race I needed to PB to have a chance, but I executed. I took all 3 death abuses, took very risky strats, and just encounters.
Yeah, you actually got to, because you were ahead coming out of Palace 2. Now, as you said, it was the swamp trek was what kind of got you there. You were actually dead even on the rafts.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
it was even on the rafts, and then Cantaloupe took an encounter on the way to Nabru Town, whereas Simple was able to get there unscathed. And I think encounters was probably the biggest deciding factor between the two of you. But I have got to ask you this, Simple. How about that Barba fight?
Yeah, I've been practicing that because I felt it was safer than using jump spell because you're not bouncing high up on his head. So I'm able to control him better up there.
That's like, what about a 4 second fight? Boom, that's it.
Oh, you hit the jumpless yak?
Yeah, jumpless. Yeah.
Nice. Now, I only missed 2 beams on Karok, and I felt pretty good about that fight. But just one of those things, man. Good game, simple. I mean, it's when you're going up against the best, you got to do a lot, and you're good at what you do.
Yeah, good stuff. Good racing.
Thank you.
Excellent race between two fine Zelda 2 competitors. Rick, do you have any other questions for either of these players?
I don't, because both of these guys, they really ran their great race. I mean, there was no point in there. I'm like, what are they doing? Type of things. It was more along the lines of, oh, not this luck, not that luck. It's just a
Exactly.
fantastic effort by two great runners. It's just been really fun commentating this race. Good luck to you, Simple Dude, as you move on in the tournament. Any thoughts as you're getting ready to play in the Final Four?
No, because Aaron Light hasn't scheduled a race yet. I don't, and I haven't seen Air play all keys in a long time. I don't know what to expect from him.
Well, he did. He did like a cold run on that Zelda marathon that we were in. He pulled out a 117 with attack 3 and had a really good run out of nowhere from not even playing it that much. So he's got it.
Sounds like it, yeah.
One of those muscle memory type players where you can be on a layoff for a long time, you get back into it 2 months later. Oh, I still remember how to play the game.
When you can play Ghosts and Goblins really well, you can play any game on the NES.
Yeah, I hear Ghosts and Goblins is quite a doozy. I actually had it for DOS. I'm not even gonna go through it. That game was way too hard. I'm like, forget it. I'm done.
Hey, Martin.
Man. I enjoyed
Martin.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Martin, thanks for restreaming and for the commentators.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah, fantastic run for both of you guys. Definitely follow both of these guys, twitch.tv/simpledude, as well as twitch.tv/cantaloupeme. These guys, they kick butt.
Absolutely. Yep. It just all came down to encounters because both of these players executed really, really well. And sometimes that's just the luck of the draw here in Zelda 2.
Any last thoughts you want to say about the tournament here, Cantaloupe?
Well, GG simple and move on. The tournament's been a blast. I've enjoyed it this year even more than last year. I like the format better, and it's been a really good tournament. And, we got, once Error Light advances, we got the Cinderella story. We got good old JSR, he came along to the Final Four and he's promised to do a good showing as well. So, I mean, it's really going to be exciting.
Yeah, can't wait for that race here. It's just been a lot of fun here during the course of this tournament. So challenge.com/2016 Zelda 2 to find out the entire bracket, find out upcoming matches once they do get scheduled. That's it going to be for me. So you want to take us out of here, Laz?
I certainly will, Rick. So we don't know when the final quarterfinal match is going to be between Air 72 and Light Z, but the winner will play off against Simple Dude, and we will then have our final four set. So on behalf of our two racers tonight, Simple Dude and Cantaloupeme, and on behalf of our restreamer and tech person, NES Martin, and on behalf of my commentator partner, Adirondack Rick, this is LZ Cards Fan 23.
Hold on, Laz.
Yes.
I do want to interrupt you real fast of your outro here. Please give Ness Martin a lot of love because considering the fact that it's 3:30 in the morning his time, give him a lot of love for restreaming this race. Please do.
Yeah, absolutely. Please, if you have not done so already, please give Ness Martin a follow because he's a great streamer as well. So please do that right now. So until then, this is LZ Cards Fan 23 signing off. I hope you all have a great evening and we'll see you again next time. So long, everybody.
see you guys.